Hi there, welcome to Keep Britain Sewing, and thank you for purchasing the tie wrap trousers. Now these are inspired by the kind of trousers that Thai fishermen would wear in the 19th century. So kind of bringing it up to date. They're very easy to wear, very casual. So let's see what's in the pattern envelope. So we've got the pattern, obviously, and we have the pattern instructions, and we also have the Keep Britain Sewing guide. Now in here there's lots of tips and information like cutting out fabric and sewing darts and inserting a concealed zip. So lots of useful information in there, so keep that by your sewing machine. Now let's get on and make the tie wrap trousers. So there's 7 pattern pieces in this, so we're going to start with the back on piece 2. So I'll just unpin this piece. So let me just move that out of the way. So the first thing we need to do is stitch this middle back seam here. So you have your 2 back pieces, and these are right sides together. And we just want to sew the seam here. So I'm going to pin that in place. Now these are very simple to make. There seems to be a lot of material and a lot of pattern pieces, but they are very simple to make. This is the Ankara fabric, which has a beautiful design on it. These are, I believe they're 100% cotton, but it's a really good weight and perfect for this kind of trouser. So let me stitch that in place. And there's a 1 centimeter seam allowance included in the pattern, so you don't need to add anything to your pattern. So you now need to press that seam open. So let me bring my ironing mat up, or my pressing mat. Then press that seam open there. And just press it on the outside as well. Now that that's all stitched and pressed, we need to make the belt pieces. So these are our belt pieces. So take one and then right sides together, fold it in half and pin in place. And then do the same for the other piece. The right sides together. Then once those are pinned in place, you want to do a line of stitching along one short edge, then along the long edge here. So 1 centimeter seam allowance. I'm going to turn that round there. Then go down the long edge. So now your belt ties are sewn together. Just need to clip the seam allowance. So clip the corner here, and then go about 3 or 4 millimeters from the edge of your stitching that you've just done, all the way down. Okay, and now do the other one. So clip that sewn corner there, cut those threads off, and then go all the way down. There we go. So clear this rubbish out of the way. Now we need to turn our belt pieces. So it might take some time. Turn it so that it's right side out. I'll go and make a cup of tea because this might take some time. I'm nearly there, turning these. Now believe me, this is probably the hardest part of the pattern, so it's not too bad. So I'm just going to use a pin just to prise out my corners there. Just bring them out. And that side. And then this side. Be a little bit gentle with this, you don't want to break your stitching. There we go. So now that they're turned, you just want to press them. I get my pressing mat up again. And just press them into the other one. Press that one. I've even matched up my belt pieces, look at that. So, those are your belt pieces done. Now we need to attach them to the waistband. So we now need to attach the belt pieces to the waistband. So we need waistband piece number 5. Now there's quite a few waistband pieces here, but we need number 5. And you will see there are belt placement marks here. So you need to transfer that onto your material. Now with this waistband, you just cut the one piece for this pattern piece. So I'm just going to transfer a couple of lines here so I know where to line up my belt pieces. And then on the other side, I just need to mark it there as well. With just a couple of chalk marks so I know where to place that belt. So with your belt, you need to line the raw edges of your belt to where the placement marks are and just pin in place there. And then on the other side, pin your other belt piece with raw edges against there. Pin that in place. Now we just want to do a line of stitching over that belt just to attach it to the waistband and to secure it and just to make sure it stays in place. Here's your belt piece attached to your waistband. So on your front waistband you have 3 notches on this side. And you want to match the 3 notches of your side waistband to that. So let me take my fabric, and therefore the belt will be at the bottom, so you need to place that bit on top there, sandwiching that belt in between the 2 layers. So just pin that in place. And then do a line of stitching down this edge here. So your belt should be sandwiched in between the 2 layers. Let me remove that. And your side waistband sewn to your front waistband. Now we're just going to press open that seam. Let me bring my mat up again. We'll just press open that seam there. Turn it over and just give it a press on that side as well. So this piece here now is the front waistband, and we need to attach this to the front piece. So this is my front piece. It's a very large piece, piece number 1. So I'm just going to unpin this. Now you notice that you cut part of it on the fold. So the top bit here, you cut on the fold, then you cut out this bit here. So this becomes your inside leg. So that's, let me get rid of this bit. Okay, move that out of the way. I can go down there. So this is your front piece. Now you need to pin your front waistband to the top of this piece. So you might need a lot of space for this. So this is my front waistband that we made earlier. So you need to pin this piece along this top edge here, all the way along. So pin it all the way along. So that's all pinned in place. So we need to do one very long line of stitching all the way down that top edge there. So that's all stitched together there. And again, as we always do, we love to press our seams open. So let's open those seams. So I'll get my ironing mat out. We've got a lot of pressing to do here. And what I love about this fabric is that it does press really nicely. It's lovely to work with. That's pressed open. Now turn it over and just give it a quick press on the other side. So long there. And you notice I haven't quite matched my waistband with my front piece here. Doesn't matter. So that's the front waistband attached to the front piece. Now we need to do the back waistband to the back piece. So we now come on to attaching the back waistband to the back piece. So this is piece number 4. Now with this piece you cut one piece out for the outer waistband and one piece for the inner waistband. So let me unpin this. Move that out of the way. So with this piece you need to do the same as you've done with the front and right sides together, place it at the top and pin in place, and then we'll do a line of stitching across there. That's pinned in place, so I'll do a line of stitching along there. Okay, that's done. Let's bring it over here. How does that look? That looks good. So again, we want to press our seams. So press the seam up, okay, and then just press the outside as well. We've attached the back waistband to the back piece. We need to attach the back to the front at the inseam. So lay your front piece out with the right side facing up, and then take your back piece with right sides together and pin your back center seam at that curve there. You then want to attach your inseam, your inside leg seam here. So this is your back piece and this is your front piece, and you want to, it might be easier to do it like this, pin all the way down that inseam. Again, my pattern matching hasn't been perfect. And then do the other inseam. So where am I? So pin that down there, all the way down to the bottom. So now you've pinned that in place, you want to do a line of stitching from the crotch and go all the way down one side of your inside leg, and then go back to the top or to the crotch, start the crotch and go down the other side. Start at the crotch, move that one out of the way, and that one. And then we come down this side. So that's your inside leg seam done. So let's press that inside leg seam. Let me get my mat up here. So press your inside leg seam open. It's probably 3 minutes, this isn't too bad. Now that we've done the inside leg seam, we now do the side seam. So line up your back and front pieces at the side and pin in place from the top of the waistband all the way down to the hem. And the great thing about these is that they fit any body shape, male or female or otherwise. Once that's pinned in place, you just want to sew a line of stitching all along that side seam. So that's the side seam done. So we just need to press that seam open, and then we'll move on to the inner waistband. Now we come on to the inner waistband, and now we need to attach the inner back waistband to the inner waistband, pieces 4 and 7. So this is my inner back, and this is my inner waistband, the long one, cut on the fold. So I'm just going to pin that on one edge there, and then sew along this short edge, so it becomes one long waistband. And then press that down there, then on the outside. So now you want to press down the top edge of your waistband by 1 centimetre. And then press. Keep going along. And keep checking that is 1 centimetre. So once that's pressed, you want to fold your waistband right sides together and pin the short edges together. And then you want to do a line of stitching down this short edge from where you just pressed it all the way down to the bottom. Now we've sewn together our waistband in one big loop. We need to attach the inner waistband to the outer waistband. So if we pin this right sides together with the unpressed edge against the edge of the other waistband, matching at the back seams, so the back pieces of the inner and the outer waistband match up. So just pin that in place, and then the other seam on this side. And then bring that inner waistband around to the front and pin that to the waistband there. And then once that's pinned in place, we sew a line of stitching all the way around, attaching the inner and the outer waistbands together. So that's your inner waistband attached to your outer waistband. So you just want to press that seam open there, go all the way around. Now that that's pressed, we need to bring our inner waistband to the inside and down onto the seam where we attached the outer waistband. So I'm going to start off on one of the side seams here. So I'm going to bring this outer waistband down where you pressed it earlier and bring it down onto that seam so that it just overlaps a little bit onto that seam. Just pin that in place, and what we'll do, we'll stitch on the outside, and that will catch that pressed part of the waistband and catch that seam, so it'll be nice and tidy on the inside. So pin all this in place. Pin all the way around, bringing that pressed inner waistband down onto that seam. It's quite a lot to do. Now on the right side, we need to do a line of stitching within this seam here, so that on the other side it will catch the folded edge here. So line your needle up to that seam, go the right way, and make sure your tie is out the way, and just sew in between that seam so that catches on the other side. So that's your waistband attached, and hopefully that has caught on the inside, and it has. So we'll just give that a quick press, and then we'll move on to the hems. Now we come on to the final part of the tie wrap trousers, and we just need to hem the legs. So we want to fold this up 1 centimetre, and then press all the way around the bottom of the leg. And then once you've turned it up 1 centimetre, turn it up 2 centimetres. And then once that's pressed up, you can pin it in place or leave it as it is if you feel confident, and just sew a line of stitching about 3 millimeters away from that folded edge. So do that on both sides. And there you go, that's the hem done. So turn these the right side out. Hopefully I don't get lost in the fabric. I don't think I've got the room here to model them, so I'll get somebody else to do that. So just want to press that hem. And the other one. Where's the other one gone? Here we are. There's a lot of fabric here. Right, that side. Give that a press. And there you go. You have a lovely pair of tie wrap trousers. Beautifully sewn, I hope. So if you have any comments or suggestions, please leave them below. Don't forget to like this video and share it as well. So thank you for watching. Catch you next time.